بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. الحمد لله حمداً كثيراً طيباً مباركاً فيه كما ينبغي لجلال وجهه وعظيم سلطانه. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Will our children say La ilaha illallah? What do you think of that question? Do you think it is a hypothetical question that we can perhaps debate about it just with casuality? Or do you think it is a real question? It's a real concern. It's actually a real fear. I personally asked myself this question so many times throughout my life. Shortly after I became a mother, while my eldest daughter was still in elementary school, I remember being really concerned not only about her growing up as a Muslim with a strong Muslim identity, but I was even concerned about her as a mother, about her being able to raise her own children with that same commitment and dedication to their religion. I was concerned about our offspring for generations to come. What happened to them? What they going to face as a Muslim minority? Are they going to proudly identify themselves as a Muslim? I remember praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala after each prayer to keep our offspring as a follower, dedicated follower of the Islamic faith. These early concerns and fears never left me. It was always at the back of my mind. I realized that I shouldn't take things for granted because many things could go wrong. I already saw it happen to many other families. Actually, this caused me to have a strong sense of responsibility towards my children. I believed I must give them all the support and all the knowledge they would have received had they been raised in a majority Muslim country. The Prophet ﷺ once said, "Man khafa adlaj, wa man adlaj balagha al-manzil." Whoever is concerned and fearful for something should start early, and whoever starts early will reach his goal. It's not bad to have these concerns because they are real. These concerns should motivate us to start really early and do whatever it takes so our grandchildren for generations to come are dedicated followers of Islam. I am sure that you all here share with me this sense of responsibility towards our children. All of us here want our children and grandchildren for generations to come to continue saying La ilaha illallah with a strong conviction and dedication. We each ask ourselves every day, what can I do to help this happen? And actually, there is a lot that parents and grandparents can do to keep this happening, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will support us. Allah tells us in the Quran, وَالَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا فِينَا لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ سُبُلَنَا وَإِنَّ اللَّهَ لَمَعَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. The challenges are great, but we don't have to be too concerned and too worried to the extent that we feel defeated. We should do our best, and Allah promised that whoever is trying, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will show the way. Parents and grandparents need to cooperate together for the benefits of the new generation. Alhamdulillah, now that our community is growing, having grandparents in the same country and sometimes even in the same city as grandchildren is a more common situation for more and more families. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mention grandchildren in the Quran as a favor given to human beings. In Surah An-Nahl, chapter 16, verse 72, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, وَاللَّهُ جَعَلَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا وَجَعَلَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَزْوَاجِكُمْ بَنِينَ وَحَفَدَةً وَرَزَقَكُم مِّنَ الطَّيِّبَاتِ. Allah has made for you from amongst yourselves spouses, and He the Almighty made for you from your spouses children and grandchildren. In all cultures, grandchildren are mentioned as being loved and favored to their grandparents. So there is natural love for them in the grandparents' hearts, and there is no dispute about that. Grandparents can be very resourceful, helping raise their grandchildren. So they usually have more time and more patience and more knowledge. And of course, as we said, they love their grandchildren very much and have a great interest in their well-being. How can grandparents help with their grandchildren? Amongst things that grandparents can support the parents raising their children are building a good relationship with their grandchildren and reinforce Islamic values and reinforce parents' rules. Many times, grandparents expect too much from the grandchildren because they have different understanding of what respect is like. And it would help that parents and the grandparents initiate a discussion about what will make the grandchildren be closer to the grandparents so they can relate to them and they can benefit from their long experience and knowledge they have. And of course, parents can be of great help with that. So whenever possible, grandparents can build a good relationship with their grandchildren, which will come very helpful at the time when grandchildren need an extra opinion or need to go somewhere else to listen to the same value from someone else. Grandparents also can support parents whenever possible in meeting the physical demands of the family by helping out with all these physical demands, such as meals, car rides, babysitting, giving them a break, giving the parents a break so they can go and refresh and come back more patient with their children. However, for this to work, parents and grandparents have to cooperate to bring a common understanding amongst them. Grandparents need to respect the parents' ways and try to stay consistent with the parents' rules and keep an open mind to new and current changes in the way things are done. On the other hand, parents need to consider grandparents' advice and opinion and make them feel that their effort is appreciated. We need to always remember how Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam have prayed for his offsprings when he said, رَبِّ اجْعَلْنِي مُقِيمَ الصَّلَاةِ وَمِنْ ذُرِّيَّتِي رَبَّنَا وَتَقَبَّلْ دُعَاء. O my Lord, make me establish regular prayer and my offsprings. O my Lord, accept supplications. So cooperation between grandparents and parents is absolutely necessary for the benefit of the future generation. I will mention here few of the very basic principles to raise children that both parents and grandparents should consider. First is that we must realize and acknowledge that we cannot ask our children to act different from most people around them without equipping them first with whatever they need to be different. This implies that we need to be mindful of the decisions we make and how these decisions will affect our lifestyle and the lifestyle of our children. For example, the neighborhood and the area we choose to live in, the school we send our children to, whether or not we choose to pursue a career that requires us to work for long hours or work on the weekend, and countless other life decisions. With all these will play a part in whether we have enough time and enough energy to meet our children's specific needs or not. Another factor is really that parents need to, as parents, we need to rethink our goals and our priorities in life. And we need to ensure that parenting our children is among the top priorities in our lives. Because what good would it make that we work hard, earn more money, but then our children just go and spend all this money and not value anything and lose their Islamic identity? Sometimes it feels like our entire day, our entire lives actually, revolves around our children. We are getting them ready, dropping them off, picking them up, preparing food for them, doing laundry for them, a lot of work. We are working hard for long hours at our jobs to provide for them more financial means. So it seems like all our life is revolving around our children. But when we stop to think about it, we don't actually spend much time with them. And as it was said, the best thing you can spend on your children is your time. Is your time. It's nothing else. Do you really see, we need to ask ourselves, do you really see your children every day? I know of many dads who don't see their children every day. The child sleeps before the dad comes home, and he leaves to school before the dad wakes up. How much time do you really spend with your children? Do you play with them? Do you play with the 3 years old? Do you share in an activity with your 8 years old? Are you in the habit of having a discussion with your teen, for example, whenever they want to go to the movie or whenever they want to go and hang out at the mall with their friends? Or do you just take the easy way out and order them around and expect them to do as you say? So these are just some ideas to think about it. Also, as parents and grandparents who wants to help our children, we need to realize that we must keep learning and growing. Yes, keep learning and growing to improve our parenting skills and to broaden our knowledge and our expertise in parenting. Children keep growing, mashallah. So that means that the challenges they will be facing keeps changing. We have to continue to learn in order to keep up with all these challenges. So I advise and request from every one of you here to keep learning, attending seminar, reading parenting book, learning from other parents who have positive experience. And you know now the resources are around. Some time ago, 20, 30 years ago, we didn't have many books written by Muslim for Muslim living in North America. Now we do. So keep learning, it comes very helpful. Another factor is that we need to realize that we must empower our children and youth, not push them. Parenting through force and pushing doesn't work for a very long time. Empowering does. Force is when you order your children angrily and tell them, do as I say, and don't allow them to ask or get get annoyed by their attitude and stop talking to them for days. All these are forces, and they don't work. It's the wrong way. Empowering means, however, listening to your children and your youth, explaining things, having conversation with them, having a debate with them, discussing, then reaching an agreement together which both agree about, parent and youth. Empowering means also that you become a role model. You don't ask your child for something and you are lacking it. Empowering means you provide alternatives. So showing your children that you care and you understand their struggle is a lot of support for them. We must keep in mind that when children are young, they mostly listen to their parents, even if they don't like what they're telling them. It's very normal for a 4-year-old to say, I can't go to the party because my mom said so. An 8-year-old can say, no, I am not allowed. My dad doesn't allow me. But all this changes when they get older. Can you imagine 16 years old telling his peers, I can't go with you because my mom said so? Of course not. They're going to make their own decisions. So we must really empower them with the tools that will help them to make the right decisions that day. Last but not least factor is for us parents to realize that we must take good care of ourselves and our health. We need a lot of energy. We need to be patient with our children. We need to be thoughtful and innovative in our ways of dealing with them. And from where would we get all of that? We must be at the best of health and the best of health at every side. So we should take care of ourselves of our health on the physical side, eating properly and sleeping properly. On the mental side, exercising, staying active, taking walks. This is very much needed in order for us to reach our objective and to have a strong connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is where we're going to get empowered ourselves to continue that hard journey. We must also strike a balance in our lives. So not to work so long and then have no time for the children, not to spend so much time in things that have to be repeated every day, like cooking and cleaning and so on, but to see how we can minimize this kind of work. And the Prophet ﷺ have said, احرص على ما ينفعك واستعن بالله ولا تعجز. Be keen for what is beneficial for you and seek help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and don't despair. This is how, inshallah, this is some of the strategies that we can, parents, perhaps keep in mind and take seriously to raise up children who are able for generations to keep the flame going, the flame of faith going, and have grandchildren and grandchildren with a strong conviction and with a strong connection to the Muslim community, strong religious awareness and practice across generations to come and keep the flame of faith alive, inshallah. And as Prophet Ibrahim have said, رَبِّ اجْعَلْنِي مُقِيمَ الصَّلَاةِ وَمِنْ ذُرِّيَّتِي رَبَّنَا وَتَقَبَّلْ دُعَاء. Always to remember to make dua for your children and grandchildren till the day of judgment. May Allah accept from all of us. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen.